And today I'm talking to Vanessa Jennings. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. And you are a brand expert, content strategist.
Yes.
Would you like to introduce yourself and then just let us know exactly what that means? So what a brand strategist or brand...
So I say I'm a brand messaging and content strategist.
Okay.
Because brand also encompasses messaging and content. So what I do is I help women in business really step into their own power, understand their story, and bring that through in their messaging into their content. So brand for me is your identity, it's your positioning, it's your messaging, your content, and then your visibility. So I see that as a lovely little circle that you can't really have one without the other, and they all work symbiotically together, and that's under the umbrella of your brand.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It makes sense because a lot of people might kind of think about branding as
logos, fonts and colours.
Exactly. And it's not, is it?
It's not. No, it's not. There's a real difference between a business and a brand, and your brand is how you make people feel. It's how you speak to your customers. It's also your own identity, and your business it's the logistics, isn't it? So it's, if you've got a shop, it's, paying wages, it's your products, it's your, your services, whatever it may be that you do. So there's a real difference. And I think every business has a brand, but not all businesses look after their brand and give it the attention that it needs.
They don't prioritize the branding because they just think about everything else and they forget about the branding. I take it that's part of the marketing as well. Branding and marketing go hand in hand, don't they?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So brand marketing is a type of marketing.
Yeah.
You've got obviously digital marketing, performance marketing. So it is a type of marketing, but it's also, you can have a service brand, you can have a product brand, or you can have a personal brand as well. So it sort of sits on its own little
So I suppose
island.
It's the kind of business that you are, isn't it? So if you are a figure, then it's your personal branding, isn't it?
Absolutely.
How you come across if you're an influencer, for example.
Yep.
Or if you're a small one-man band company.
Yes. And if you're a service provider,
Yeah.
you have a business brand and you have a personal brand, and they're very much interlinked.
Okay. So you can't keep that separate. So say you are a business owner, but you want to keep your... So what is personal brand? Is that your personality or is that very separate?
So your personal brand is obviously you as a person and as a founder, and how you project that into the world. But if you have a service providing company and you are the person providing the service, then your business brand and your personal brand are very much interlinked because you're the one delivering the service. So there's... it also depends on if you have a premises. So say you're then aesthetics, or you're somewhere where you're delivering the service, but you also have a premises. That's also a little bit different because you have the business brand and the personal brand, but they're a little bit separated.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so it's quite a difficult one for somebody that is just starting out in business and they haven't got that team, haven't got support. So is that something that you help people? So is that how you help people? How do you work with people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I work with people in kind of two different stages of business. So people that are building a brand. So they need to really anchor themselves in their identity. They need to figure out who their ideal client is. I call it their golden client. So your golden client is, or customer, is the person that's ready to move. They are ready to buy from you right now, and they're the ones that you need to talk to.
Let's talk about you and how you got into this. So what is your background?
So I am originally from New Zealand. I moved over when I was 22, very much a proud Kiwi, but I've also now been here I'm 44, so 22 years, which is wild.
So equal.
Yeah,
in
absolutely
different
wild.
Two different countries.
But I actually moved over to study footwear design. I was very obsessed with shoes and really wanted to...
Why not? Aren't we all?
I know, great problem to have. And I got accepted into the London College of Fashion, but then when I got here, I realised I wasn't going to be able to study full-time and actually live in London. So I just went straight into working, and my first job was at Selfridges, and I managed the Balenciaga department for 2 years. So I got kind of a crash course in luxury retail, and then from there just sort of worked my way up through the ranks. So I spent 20 years in fashion and retail, and moved from the shop floor. I didn't go to university. I, was a bit too wild at that stage of my life to consider that. But I worked my way. I was very hard working. I worked my way up from the shop floor to sort of sales, head of sales and marketing director roles. And then my story is very typical of women that I met.
Did you get married and have children, and it changed everything?
Yes,
and it does.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It's changed us all, really.
I think what you find is you have your kids, and then for me in particular, I was very career driven, and after the birth of my son, I was probably a little bit unhappy, and I just desperately wanted to get some of me back. So try to go back into my career. You're trying to shove yourself back into that box that you were in before, and you don't fit.
No.
And it took me probably 4 or 5 years to figure out that I wasn't the same person. And I think also your priorities change, don't you?
Your priorities completely change.
For me, that happened slowly. I was like, no, I've got to get my career back.
That's interesting, because usually it's when you don't want to go back after maternity leave. That's when it's like, right, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to leave my baby with somebody.
Well, I was due back in April of 2020.
Oh.
So you can imagine
Lockdown.
What happened next. Exactly.
That kind of works out for you then, didn't it?
Well, I was desperate to get back, and then I was made redundant from the company I was working for.
So that would have been ideal for somebody that didn't want to go back to work.
Absolutely.
But for you, it didn't.
Yeah,
but
then I was plunged into life at home with 2 under 3, and I found it really hard. So the next 4 years, I worked for a lot of startups. So I've worked for bigger companies, I've worked for smaller ones, so I've kind of got that structure and then that agility as well, the understanding of it. But I was just trying to squeeze myself back into the same box, and I was expected to travel 2 or 3 times a week, which put a huge pressure on my family. And then also, I think when you have kids, the same things didn't light me up anymore. The other thing that I had going on alongside my career was I was starting to build my Instagram as a fashion creator. So I built that up to about 14,000 as a fashion creator. But I just started to feel a bit disillusioned with just talking about clothes and nice outfits, and it was just so surface level.
Yeah.
And I think that's because you're looking after these people and keeping them alive, these little children.
Yeah.
And so you start to think, well, is this really it?
Yeah, you feel a bit, it's like it's superficial things to talk about, just
very much
fashion and clothing, when there's more to life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I just had this burning desire that I wanted to help people, and it was my 5th and final redundancy that gave me that push that I needed. I've never actually met anyone who's been made redundant more times than me.
Oh, really?
I tried my little badge of honour.
Do you know what? I tried to get made redundant, and I applied for it and went for it and didn't get it. So I ended up leaving.
You should have asked me for some tips.
I know. They needed me. I tried to leave. They kept getting me to go back. They're like, come back part-time, which I tried. But I was the opposite to you, where I didn't want to go back. But I did.
It's so different for everybody, though, isn't it?
Yes.
But
we've all got our own sort of path, journeys, stories, what works for us and what we want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. But I took that as I like to think 5 redundancies is
That's a sign.
It's a sign from the universe was smacking me in the face, saying you need to start your own business. And I'd always wanted to. I've always had side hustles.
Yeah.
At one point, I had a wedding flowers business because I was a florist when I came out of school. So I did that on the weekends while I was working full time. So I've always been a bit of a hustler.
Yeah. So it made sense, really.
Yeah.
And you
absolutely.
had the Instagram already, so you had that platform.
Yes. And that is, again, that's where, if you're looking at building your personal brand, I'm like, start yesterday, because
don't wait.
Even if you don't know what you're building it for, it gives you a platform, and it gives you space and an audience and people that are invested in you for whatever it is that you want to do. And if you're showing up authentically online, they'll buy what you're selling.
But it's worth it for you,
as long as it's aligned, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's like you've got to be truthful. You got to. It's all your branding, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's all part of your branding, like who you are, and you do show up. Like you show your face, you show who you are.
Yeah.
But that again, that's your branding. Not everybody does, but
and I think for me, I'm the way that I can help my clients, and when I started my business, it did take me a little while to figure out what my niche was, because It's like sales, marketing, business development, content, fashion, people, psychology, emotion, all of these things that I loved. I'm like, how does that all fit together? And then when I found brand, I was like, that is
So
my thing.
is it coaching then? It's
mentoring. I call it mentoring.
Yeah.
And I say I'm a strategist. I'm not trained as a coach, and I'm very clear about that.
Yeah.
But I don't tell you what to do. I give you examples and I can help with suggestions, but I pull the brilliance out of my clients because it's already there.
Yeah.
They just need someone to help them see
Bit
it.
of creativity going on, pulling it out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a really nice analogy that I was chatting to someone with about the other day about how my clients are in the jar, they're inside the jar, and on the outside is the label of what they're good at, their strengths, and sometimes they can't see it. So I'm out here reading the label.
That's a really good way.
And explaining to them, because for example, if one of my clients writes a brand story, I can see immediately the little access points and micro moments that are going to really connect with their client, and sometimes they can't see it.
No,
because you're inside it and you're doing it every day.
And you're doing everything as well. Like for some people, if you don't, you're juggling. If you're especially on your own, like I'm on my own. Occasionally, I'll outsource some bits and bobs, and even actually with the branding, I got to the point because I was pivoting, I was changing, I started off with one thing, lockdown changed my business a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
And in the end, I just got my website design. I went, sort out my fonts, sort out my colours, because I'm a little bit ADHD with this. I'm like looking at somebody else's and going, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at somebody else and oh, actually, I like that. And I just couldn't get it right. And even now I kind of think, have I still got it right? But I just got him to do it.
Yeah, visual identity is hard.
It is really hard.
And I think you need to find someone really good to help you with it.
Yeah.
Because we can DIY it.
Yeah.
But get
the pros in.
Yeah.
Is that your advice when it comes to that?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it depends on what your business is. But I think I can spend hours in a Canva rabbit hole. Hours.
Yeah, me too. I love
playing around with a colour or a different font or different placing.
I love a bit of Canva,
so
but
into it.
That's your day sucked away, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like websites at the moment. You know, I'm looking at redoing my website, and I'm trying to get someone to help me with the existing one, because I can do it, but it will
take
literally just suck a day out of my week easily.
And time's money, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So I can be doing what I love instead of doing what I'm not so good at.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing you just talked about was sort of showing up on Instagram. So it doesn't have to be Instagram. It's wherever they want to hang out.
Yes.
That business wants to hang out. So whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok. Yeah, TikTok's great.
YouTube. You might use multiple platforms and cross over. So is it about consistency?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about discovering what consistency means for you.
Yeah.
And if someone's a one-man band, I always advise don't try more than 2 platforms, because or else you will burn out and your brain will get fried.
What about cross-posting?
Cross-posting, yes, but I also believe that depending on the business, things need to be tweaked a little bit. So if you're looking at Instagram content compared to LinkedIn, it's different, and more personal content works on LinkedIn. However, it does need to be pitched slightly differently, and you can't sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I agree. I mean, I do see a lot of businesses and they'll cross-post to Instagram, from Instagram to Facebook, and then I'll see the same thing on LinkedIn. It can work, and I suppose for them it's just visibility, making sure that I'm everywhere so everyone can see me.
Yeah, and also that repetition is good, because you want your clients to be seeing the same thing. You might think that you're like a broken record, but they need to see.
They might have only seen it once. To you, you're like, I keep saying this, I'm repeating myself. But actually, that person's
I don't want to talk about this again.
I know. I'm guilty for it, because I kind of think, I'll do something else. I use the content buckets
good
strategy for what I do. And so do you recommend that? So content pillars, content buckets?
Yeah, absolutely. So it depends on the individual and it depends on the business, but I will work on content pillars and, generally your story, your own story as a brand and as a person and as a business is a massive part of that pillar.
Yeah. Because you don't want to be
really
selling. You want to talk you want to change the script, don't you, and mix it up.
And I think a mistake that I see a lot is there's a couple of mistakes. We probably do need to talk about AI.
Yeah, let's talk about AI. Let's do AI.
So one of the mistakes I see too often is people thinking too much about selling their product or their service and not actually thinking about what their client or customer wants. So sell, but okay, is that actually what they want to buy? How are you connecting with them? What are you trying to make them feel when you're selling that? And if you come at things from a perspective of, okay, what do they want to buy? How am I going to connect with them rather than how am I going to sell this product or service today? There's a real shift that happens.
Yeah, it's about helping people and connecting with them on that level rather than just throwing buy from me, which will just put people off, won't it?
Yeah, and I think people are savvy these days and we're in a trust recession, absolutely, and AI is a massive part of that. So people want authenticity, they want the depth, they want to feel seen, you know.
The one thing that I have noticed, especially on Instagram, now I see a lot of content that I don't follow, and I know you can switch it off, but sometimes it's quite useful to me because I kind of think, oh, actually, that's quite a good idea, and I'll twist it a little bit because my business is very different, mine's quite unique.
Yeah.
But I do see people that are being authentic, but it's also quite false because they're kind of going, oh, I started my business when I was, you know, whatever. And they give this sob story and now look at me and you could do it too. And you kind of think they're trying to do the kind of be authentic, but it's actually... There's a lot of that out there at the moment. You kind of question that.
There's a huge amount of content about people talking about how much money they've earned and,
I know.
You know, that false economy.
Because they want you to
buy what they're selling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and there's a lot of lies out there as well. Again, it's a trust recession. Who can you believe?
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to do it. You've got to really get it right, don't you? Where it's actually, this is genuine and I'm just trying to connect with you.
Yeah. But AI, I mean...
Let's talk AI.
Where do we start? So I'm going to start by saying that I'm not anti AI. I use it a lot. I use it in my business for ideation, for brainstorming, for structure on some things. I use it outside of my business and my home life as well. However, I would never use it to write my content for me. And I think it's really dangerous when people do. And I think what I'm seeing is that it's stripping the personality out of businesses and people like a vacuum, like there it goes. And what happens is it's almost this little repeating cycle because people are using it to be more efficient and to, you know, take a task that they need to do off their plate. Great, wonderful, I totally get that. But then it creates this really vague content that sounds like everybody else. It has these same phrasings that I can never unsee, you know, we know the long dashes.
So I don't use it for writing because I am a writer, so it would be counterintuitive for me to use AI to write.
And I think this is part of the problem is that people are using it to write for them, and it's like, but that's your creativity. That's your own, you know, thoughts from your brain out on paper, and A, people can't connect with it, but B, why are you stripping your own personality out of it?
Sometimes I don't understand. I mean, I remember one time somebody came over and we were just doing a bit of sort of a working session and I was trying to kind of create some content for them and they said, oh, let me just type all this into chat. Yeah, and I'm like, by the time you've done that, you might as well just written it. I can understand people that might have dyslexia or it might help them as a tool, but you need your words, don't you? You need your voice.
I was challenged on one of my posts on LinkedIn by a client actually, a previous client, and you know, I'd sort of was having another rant about AI and how we can't use it to talk for us, and that it's actually quite dangerous. And you know, she had a really good point. She's a single mum. She was working full time. She's also trying to build her business as a side hustle. She's like, I just don't have time to be writing this content. And the reality is, and I hate to say this, but her business won't be successful if she's not concentrating on building connection with her audience. And that's what happens is there's a disconnect. I mean, I had a massive rant on Instagram the other day because I opened an email from a coach that I really respect and admire.
Right.
And
go on.
It was just so obviously written by AI. And in that moment, I was just so disappointed.
Was this a newsletter?
Yeah, the email newsletter.
Yeah.
I was just so disappointed. And they work on brand, you know.
Right.
So
when it's obvious, I mean, obviously you can use it as a tool for certain things, but if you're just letting it write it for you.
Yeah, I think so a lot of people will say to me, you know, I have very jumbled thoughts and it helps to make sense of my thoughts. And again, I get that. But, you know, an example from a client recently was she'd written the most beautiful, touching brand story. And it was very, very long. So we did need to edit it. But then we'd put it, not we, but she had put it into chat. And I had to sort of show her there was a couple of little terms of phrases that she used that was so beautiful. Yeah. And I said to her, like, that is going to, your ideal client is going to really connect with that moment. It's so personal. And when you've put it in, it's taken it out.
Yeah.
So you've got to be so careful with stuff like that.
I suppose, are people afraid to talk from the heart, do you think?
People are afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But that's the fastest way to build connection.
That's it, because I suppose, like, if you think about in business, in business, you've got to be hard-faced, you've got to be professional. You get people that are completely the other way, where they bear all and they're crying on the...
Yes, And there's a difference between sharing from the scar and sharing from the wound, okay?
Interesting.
So when you share from the scar, you're able to reflect on something, you're able to be insightful, and you're able to inspire other people. But when you're in the middle of something, you shouldn't be sharing from the wound, because you're not in a position to be able to put a positive spin on that, you know, for your audience. It can be tricky.
And again, it's your branding. I mean, I do see some certain influence. When I say influencers, like big personalities, and they are very, very open, and you kind of think, wow, you are really open. But then I kind of question, is that a strategy? You are picking and choosing what you are sharing?
Yeah, and it depends on the person, but I think there's a real power. And I'm at a stage in my life where I've been through, I'm very much in a growth mindset, and I will put myself in uncomfortable positions to grow. So I'm very comfortable with that, and I'm quite happy to talk openly. I'm very much an open book.
Yeah.
But sometimes when my clients come to me, they've started their business and they know they're amazing at what they do, and they're potentially in an industry where they need to look professional. So they start to almost strip the personality out of their business because they feel they need to present professionally.
Yeah.
And again, that's how I help people, is I help you find that line.
Yeah.
Because
you don't want to be a robot. You don't want to be that professional that there's walls up and nobody can get to know you.
Yeah,
you need...
Some people also don't want to be dancing around in their underpants.
No, exactly. You'll never see me doing that.
No, I'm open book, but I'll never be in my pants.
Yeah, I mean, actually, sort of, because I've got a local business, and I get a lot of local other business owners that will friend me on Facebook because they use Facebook for their sort of professional profiles, because I think that kind of gives a bigger reach for them. Yeah. Some mix it up, so some will kind of have their family photos. My personal Facebook page is personal. And I say personal, everything's online, so I'm very aware of what I'm putting online, even if it's I've closed it and it's private and everything, it's still out there. So I am still sort of, I don't know, wary of what I'm sharing. But I kind of think, gosh, you know, you're seeing like me on my drunken nights out and me in my fancy dress going to the party. You're seeing a different side to me.
The photos from 2005.
Yeah. Or me, like, I've just given birth and I've got a photo and all that, you know, the really unflattering things. I think, wow, you really are seeing me in my raw state there. Yeah. But again, you kind of think, well, you know, you have to, you do have to be authentic, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where you can really set yourself apart as a business, where you find that balance for you of what that looks like between your professionalism and your authenticity. Yeah. And it's finding where that balance is for you.
Because how do the big brands work? So you're thinking like the Coca-Cola. I mean, obviously they go way back. So I mean, the competition and the noise was probably not as much as what it is now. Everybody's online now. Yeah. But, you know, how do they do it? How do these guys, the Nikes and all that, they have to still have their brand story, but it's different.
Yes.
Because it's not a one person behind it.
Yeah, and theirs is very much, they started out with the FOMO marketing, and, they build everything around campaigns, and their campaigns are so well thought about from a consumer perspective. How is the consumer psychologically going to connect with this? Yeah. And there's a lot of really deep work that goes into, I guess just one campaign that from the outside you think, oh, that's nice TV advert, or
and they've got to reinvent themselves constantly. They've got to move with the times. Think about the Coca-Cola that's been, I don't know when that started, many years ago, and a lot of these brands and how they've moved with the times, and they're keeping up with everything. So that's important as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think if you don't keep up, then you do get left behind.
You'll be left
unfortunately.
behind, and you're not answering the problem of the consumer.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what you've got to be doing, because problems change, don't they?
And with
change.
With AI coming in, I mean, the past 5 years have changed massively, haven't they? With how people do business, how it's integrated. So someone said to me the other day, AI is stealing our jobs, and I was like, well, no, I think that's a really easy cop-out from somebody that doesn't want to utilise it. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's there to stay.
It's very fast-paced, and I think that's the scary thing. It's been around for a while, but it just seems like it's very quickly evolved.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's like educating yourself. Like, okay, well, if you don't know about it, learn.
Yeah.
And put yourself in that situation that maybe it doesn't come so naturally to learn about something, technical like that, but you'll be at an advantage to people that haven't.
Yeah. I mean, there's some scary parts of AI when it comes to sort of artists and work that has been taken and all that kind of thing. And the other thing that I don't participate in is these AI images of there's one at the moment, there's a current one at the moment where the caricature of like me and my workplace. I don't do any. I don't really do trends, but let's talk about trends, because they can grow you, can't they?
Yep.
But some people say avoid them.
So again, it's very dependent on the business and on the person. Sometimes they have a place, sometimes they don't, and it is about finding, again, what works for you.
So it's got to align with your brand.
Yeah, and I think some brands, it's, if you've got sort of a humorous edge to your brand, or you're a bit more lighthearted, then kind of tapping into a trend works here and there if it works for your industry and for you. But it's when people do things, if you get, it's just so easy to get sideswiped by all the information out there, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many people who are telling you to try this hook and do this trend, and now you do reels and now you do carousels. But that's again what I help my clients with, is finding that system and those frameworks that work for them. And looking at the data as well,
People forget that. I see a lot of businesses who kind of, they post and ghost, which I kind of think, don't do that.
Yeah.
Or they're just posting and that it's not you can see it's not working. They'll just put an image or a quote or a stock photo and with something over it, a bit of a caption.
They're not thinking about their brand.
They're not thinking about it. It's got one like. And it's like, it's either the platform's not really right for them, or, as you say, they're not really about their branding.
I see that a lot, actually, where I would, if I look at an Instagram page and it just looks flat to me, because there's no authenticity, there's no depth. They're not actually speaking to people. There's, again, we just don't need any more educational posts in our life, do we?
We don't.
Every time you open the app, there's someone else telling you what you should or shouldn't be doing about something.
I think that the nutrition space is rife for it, and the women's health and everything.
Yeah, although I do like a recipe on my Explore
I like
page.
a recipe.
If something pops up.
I know, it's high protein and it looks good.
Yeah,
and it's, it looks
Is it going to make me gorgeous?
Yeah, I'll have that. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of controversy out there, but then again, that's down to their tactic as well, because some people like to be controversial because they know they get the attention and it pushes the algorithm out. So again, that's their branding. That's down to them.
Yeah.
stories, I think, are massive. I think they're bigger than posts, actually, at the moment. For me,
the way people have using Instagram has changed.
I think that is really where you can show yourself in your stories. I mean, you can put the information out in your main posts. If we're talking Instagram, it pushes it out to Facebook. My stories get a lot of views on Instagram.
Yeah.
My stories do push it. I do post differently. I don't cross post, but the stories do cross post onto Facebook.
Yeah.
Don't get the same
interesting
views on there. So it obviously works for Instagram.
Yeah.
And I get business through it as well. Like I see my links in there because I'm under 10k following, so I've put my links in there. I know you can put links now in the edits, but I don't sell in my main posts. I kind of put the information out there.
Yeah.
And then my stories are like, this is how you can work with me.
But this is perfect, because this is a really good example of a business owner who's figured out what works for you.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
The way that you do it is not going to work for everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I kind of audit my content and how my platforms are operating quite regularly.
Yeah.
Because what people consume changes, the algorithm changes as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's things, your views will just drop massively from one day to another, and you'll be like, well, what's happened?
Yeah.
LinkedIn did that in September. They
did.
changed the algorithm because it was something to do with AI and how they're processing it.
Yeah.
So my views went from the thousands to the hundreds.
Yeah.
And it still hasn't really recovered. But again, I'm not panicking. It's fine. The people that need to see my content are seeing it. Yeah. And that's one thing, especially with LinkedIn, that people need to remember, is that the algorithm will not show, if you're posting 5 days a week, the algorithm will not show all 5 of your posts to one person. Because I think people can worry that they're, especially on LinkedIn as a platform specifically, that they're posting too much.
Yeah.
And I always say, well, that post you did on Wednesday, your ideal client might not see that for 3 weeks, but it will still push it out to them. And it's quite hard to gauge how it does it.
It's weird.
Who knows how an algorithm works?
I mean, I could put a post out about an event that happened a month ago, and I'm still getting people liking it. It's like,
still want to come.
It's happened. Too late.
I'll put you on the waiting list for the next one.
Yeah, LinkedIn's different, and I find that LinkedIn's quite strict as well. It kind of it crashes down. What's the word? Hits down on certain things like
certain content.
Content pods, the engagement pods. Some people use, groups and things.
Yes. I'll tell you what's been really upsetting me on LinkedIn recently is AI generated comments.
No.
Yes.
I see that on Instagram, but it's more from the
seen
author.
it on LinkedIn, and I've just started getting a couple on Instagram as well. And
is it just like an automated? It's almost like it's an automated thing, or is it just they're just using AI?
So they will be using some sort of software to comment on posts, but they basically, you can spot it a mile away because they just basically regurgitate what you've said to you.
Yes.
So they'll just repeat back what it was. It's very, very, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And I just have to call people out when they do it. It's not a way to grow a business. No. It's awful.
But it's not engaging.
And also, don't comment on a brand strategist, a messaging strategist's post.
Because you're going to notice that. Actually, comments. So I know we talk a lot about Instagram because you and I use that platform more than anything else. But it can work on any. But commenting is really key as well. It's not, I mentioned posting and ghosting.
Yes.
Because Instagram changes all the time. At the moment, it's like making sure that you reply to those comments.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
And don't hang around doing it because, Instagram's showing that you're interested in what people are saying and it's pushing it out more. But it's not even about that. It's just showing that you have an interest in what people say.
And I think the post and ghost thing, it depends again on how much time you've got, because sometimes that does need to be done. If you've got kids screaming in the background and you've got to go and make tea and then you've got to be at football practice.
It doesn't have to be immediate. It doesn't have to be. It could be next week. I'll go back and reply to my comments.
But I do. What an issue with Instagram I'm finding at the moment is in my feed, it's not showing me any posts from anybody I follow. So I do have to go and search them out. And they have brought in that function now where you can pay to not have adverts. So you can pay, I think, $3.99 or something. Per month to not see adverts, which I'm kind of resisting doing.
But if you're using it a lot, then it's
but I think if you're going to be creating content, then you should be engaging with other people's content, and it's a community thing, isn't it? And it's just you're taking, but you need to be giving back as well.
And it's good as well, because you can post on somebody else's, so then somebody might be interested in, who is that person? They might come and look at you anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a good way to get your name out.
So it's a good way of just showing. And there's other things as well. You can share posts or repost posts.
Yeah, I don't really know where they go. Do you know where they go?
I don't think they say repost, but it's not actually reposting it. You're just kind of putting a little bubble that hovers.
It's a very,
and then
I'm not sure about that functionality.
It's a bit of an odd one. And then so I will kind of, if there's somebody that I follow, I might see that somebody else, that a mutual follower has reposted.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if anyone was going to use any of the different functionalities on Instagram, I would say trial reels. You have to get your head around trial reels.
Yeah. So is this the one where you use edits? And is this the one that kind of where you are showing it to people that don't follow you?
So it gets shown. So it's an option that you click, and it shows to people that do not follow you.
Yes.
So it's almost like free adverts.
Yeah.
But I think what I see, if I ask someone if they're using it and they say, but it's not really working for me, and maybe they've done like 15 reels. Okay. Well, it's a completely new algorithm, and it needs to take time to learn who to show your post to. So I didn't start gaining traction on it until about 50 posts, probably. But interestingly, Instagram's now taken it off my account just randomly, because I've had a few that have gone viral.
Does it show it to the people that do follow you as well?
No.
So those people can't see it at all?
Randomly, sometimes you'll get someone say that they saw something.
But if they go to your profile, they can see it.
They cannot see it, no.
Oh, it's like it's hidden.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think I'd like that.
You will like it if you can see the results that you can get from it. But it's very strategic. And again, it's something that I help my clients with, because I figured out the strategy of how you can test and learn to see what works. So my best performing trial reel has about 4.5 million views.
Right.
But interestingly, along with that comes a whole nother world.
Yeah.
So my viral reel was one of my personal posts where I'm being authentic. And I'm talking about 5 ways that I parent like it's 1985 that I'm absolutely not ashamed of.
Love it.
So obviously the content, parenting is very divisive, isn't it? So
a bit controversial.
The things I just talked about how I teach my kids resilience. I was brought up in New Zealand. If we weren't bleeding profusely or we'd lost a limb, we were just expected to
carry on.
Yeah, exactly. I let them run around in the garden with their shoes off. I don't stress if they're not eating vegetables, because I didn't know I love shiitake mushrooms.
Exactly. Yeah.
But interestingly, because of the angle, parenting is super, super divisive. So I've had some wonderful trolling from people. But in the same token, so many people that just absolutely agreed with me. And when people can identify with it and they think, that's exactly how I want to bring up my children, or yes, I do the same things, and other people think it's weird, and you're helping to normalize it,
Is it weird when people start talking to each other and arguing with each other on your post?
Yeah, but it's great for engagement.
It's great for the algorithm. I mean, I see it, and then people are like, get the popcorn, I'm reading the comments. Yeah. I did put a post. I mean, I'm very local, so I kind of worry about pushing it out to the people that are not following me. Because I kind of think somebody in New Zealand maybe, or Edinburgh is probably not really interested in what's going on in Maidenhead. Yes. But I did put something on Facebook, and so Facebook is a very different kettle of fish, because I find, although you did have that situation because of the topic, I find that Instagram, because you are usually people are a bit kinder, because they can relate to you. But for some reason with Facebook, it's almost like, you can say what you like, but I'm behind the keyboard. You get a lot of trolling, you get a lot of people commenting.
Interesting.
You get and because of what I do, there's a lot with the council. There's a lot of people complaining about things that go, and I'm not the council. No. I'm just sharing what's going on. I'm not telling you yes, the high street and all the shops are shut. That's got nothing to do with me, or the high rise.
Some people have a bee in their bonnet.
They have a bee in their bonnet. Yeah. So now and again, but very rarely. I'm quite lucky.
Yeah.
But Meta has pushed me out. It keeps telling me I'm pushing your content out more and more. So I did put a post up about a local business, and a lot of people got very supportive about it.
Brilliant.
But some people were like, oh, but it's a bit expensive for this and da-da. But most people were like, yeah, but we need to support the businesses. So they could see what I was doing. But that was interesting because I'd never really had that before. And yeah, it had like loads of shares. And
it's always a reflection on the person commenting, though.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
What happens quite frequently is if someone comments something negative, it's because you've shined a light on something that they're not comfortable with themselves. Yeah. So, if someone's saying, oh, it's too expensive, you can think that in your head, but if they feel the need to comment it. Why do you have to say it? Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, what I get from my trial reels, which have done really well, is people don't understand my sense of humour. And
yeah, that can be a tricky one, can't it?
And
doesn't always show.
Sometimes I'll comment back and I'll think, I think you missed the 7 laughing face emojis in my caption. It's really not that deep.
I see that a lot, actually.
It's really not that deep, and it does not need to be taken that seriously, guys. It's content.
Yeah. I see that a lot in other people's posts. So I'll laugh at it, and then people go, really? Yeah. And it's like, no, it's a joke.
The keyboard warriors.
It's quite, not everyone. It kind of goes over their heads a little bit. Some people, yeah. The banters, people just don't have that anymore.
Some people don't have the bants.
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, I live for the bants. Life's too short.
I always think, like, we're talking about sort of business owners, like solopreneurs or small teams. Yeah. Do they kind of get their messaging? Do they struggle with that? Do they feel like they're overcomplicating it? Do you think?
I think that it comes down to, again, just this economy we're in at the moment where there's just too much information.
Do you feel like it's a bit swamped online? Because I know there's different ways of, we're talking about digital marketing and social media marketing.
Yes, yeah. I think...
And offline as well.
If you're still at the stage where you haven't been able to invest in support for your business, whether that's a coach, whether it's working with someone like me, it is quite hard to find your groove, to get yourself in a good position with your messaging. I did a post a little while ago where I was explaining to people about Starling Bank and how they have spaces. So you can put aside for your tax. When you get a payment in, you put aside for your tax, and you can put aside for profit. And I was explaining this, saying there's so many people online saying you need to invest in yourself, and if you're not reinvesting in your business, then you're going to die, blah, blah, blah. And it's such unhelpful information because you're not actually telling people how they can. And when it's a small business owner, it took me a solid year before I actually was able to build up some,
It takes time.
Some
take up
profit
to
where
3
I was
years
able to reinvest. Yeah. So now I've done a group program. I'm working with a coach. I've got my eye on someone else. And I know that the biggest strides that I make in my business is when I'm reinvesting in myself. And also it's, it's from that point of view of I'm asking people to invest in me. So if I'm not doing it myself, you have to practice what you preach. But no one is actually saying to people, well, this is how you can save to get yourself in a position where you can reinvest in your business. Because when you're just struggling to pay the bills and the mortgage in that first year, just trying to get clients in or customers in, it can be really hard. And then you need help, but then it's very hard to know how to get it. But having an objective eye of someone else being able to look at your business and help you with it is invaluable, absolutely invaluable.
So how do you work with your clients then? Because you've got different packages, haven't you?
Yeah. So my signature package is my 3-month mentorship, Golden. So within that, we work on that whole ecosystem of your brand. We anchor in your identity, really get razor sharp positioning, your messaging, your content, your visibility. There's a big sort of section on that towards the end. And I get you in a position where there's a really beautiful shift that I see happening with my clients where they get to this point of like power. And I hate the word confidence because sometimes I think it's just too wet. There's this power and this like calm energy.
It's like a turning point, isn't it?
Yeah, when they have that faith in themselves and they say, I actually know now how to sell my business and I don't have to sell.
Clarity, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it can get all messy in your head, kind of, especially when you're starting out. What do I do first? Where do I go? How do I do this?
Yeah. So that's that full package that we work on together. I've also got a new package which I've started for January, which is we do a 1-day intensive strategy day together. And within that, we kind of, this is for business owners who are already trading.
Yeah.
So they kind of know that they need a bit of help with something, whether it's content messaging, identity positioning, maybe it's a mix of everything. They just need a refresh. Yeah. But we have that one full-on strategy day together where it's really intensive. Cool. And from that, we then work on a monthly a month plan. So then it also comes with 1 month of mentoring support afterwards. So then I'm there helping them work through all of the actions and the frameworks that we decided to implement.
So do you do that online? Is it remotely?
It can be done online. So I do it in person.
Yeah.
Obviously we're based in Berkshire, but I do it London, kind of surrounding counties.
So you just sort of find it somewhere like a co-working space.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. If someone is too far away, we can do it online, and I break that up into smaller sessions.
Yeah.
And then I just do a 90-minute strategy session as well. So that's for generally what that entails is if someone just needs another set of eyes on what they're doing. Yeah. So I'll do kind of a full audit on their digital presence, so their website, their socials. And then it depends on, again, what they want to get out of it. So I can help them with, creative, fresh ideas coming in, or just looking for opportunities. We can look at their offers or their products. The way they're selling things. It's obviously only 90 minutes, but we can get a lot.
There's a lot in there. Because I mean, I remember a few years ago, even like just coming out of lockdown, and I was in a business group, and the one thing at the time was these very aesthetically pleasing Instagram grids at the time.
Yes, grids. I used to color code mine.
Yeah, color coding. Yeah, but if you look at mine, it's a mess. And mine's very messy. And I kind of I'll be consistent with fonts and colours. Yeah. But it's the messaging that I'm consistent with and showing what I do. Yeah. And I kind of think, are those days gone? Because I look at the really pretty Instagram, and some of them are they're influencers or whatever, they've done really well. Yeah. But a lot of them, if it's just a pretty picture or a quote, it's got 2 likes. So you can't engage with that, can you?
And I think, again, it comes down to like finding your visual style. And that's something that I help my clients with.
Do
again,
you?
With their content.
Because mine's a right mess. You don't want to look at it.
But again, like if you know your messaging's on point, there's a line, isn't it? I mean, if you took my Instagram grid from...
when you start
7 or 8 years ago, I used to, when I was a fashion creator, I used to color code it. Yeah. So every 9 squares, it would be like pink and orange. Yeah. And I'd have different outfits.
But again, that was the fashion.
Yeah, that was it. But if I compare that to my grid now, my grid is a mess. But then other people will say to me, you have a very distinctive visual style, which it's taken me years, obviously, to find that and to kind of ground myself in it. Yeah. But even then, I'm constantly... At the moment, I'm really busy with clients, so I haven't got time to take
That's content, another thing, isn't it? It's hard to kind of work on.
But don't be scared to repurpose stuff, because you have pockets of time. Yeah. And if I'm going to be taking content, I'll try and block out a day. I'll put some music on, crank up the coffees, and make sure my husband's not there, dance around the house.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's like if there's somebody around. And the other thing, I mean, I've had times where I've kind of had a mental block. So I kind of.
But don't push it.
But you don't push it. And sometimes I kind of think, right, I'm going to just sit. I've got half an hour. I'm going to sit with a cup of tea. Yeah. I'm actually going to look at other reels. Yes. Not people that I follow, but other people.
Inspiration.
For a bit of inspo, like what's trending, what's some ideas, what are they posting about, and see if I can kind of put a twist on it. And because another thing at the moment is the series, you can like link them, can't you?
A series are a brilliant idea. Yeah. Brilliant idea, yeah.
So there's a lot of, the tools are out there, aren't there? With it. So it's good to utilise. And the other thing with the sort of aesthetics is that the reels, you can change the cover, can't you? Yeah. Yeah. So
you can make, with a bit of effort, you can make your grid look gorgeous.
If it starts looking messy and you're using reels, you can change it, can't you?
Yeah, but again, like from a time perspective, especially with small business owners, we are hustling. We do not have a lot of time. Yeah. So do not be scared of repurposing. Yes. I will normally have sort of 20 to 30 reels in my drafts. Just ready to go. Yeah. So that if I do plan a lot. But then sometimes when I'm working a lot on other people's content, it might be just the day before. And again, that's okay. Just because, especially with my clients, we'll put a strategy in place and it's like, okay, this is what consistency looks like. But don't beat yourself up if you don't do it. If you feel that you're having a creative block like that, do not try and take any content. You've got to give yourself that space and that time, because it just won't work, and it won't connect.
And
either,
it's quality
it's
over
energy.
quantity.
People can feel it.
Yeah, definitely quality over quantity. Don't just post something out. My daughter's terrible. She uses YouTube, and she's like, "Oh, I need to post a video," and she'll just create something last minute rubbish because she feels like she needs to post a video, and it's like, no, it's counterintuitive.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
I think it's also honouring the way that you know that you work.
Yeah.
So again, when a client, once we get to the content part, you know, I will say to them, well, what does consistency look and feel like to you?
Yeah.
It's not what anyone else is doing. It's not what the algorithm tells you. But I have some clients who, you know, we actually don't really put a strategy in place because they're more creative.
Doesn't work for them.
Yeah, and they need to be more responsive. And I'm like, okay, so we have your content and your messaging that we know.
Just get some ideas in place.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
So you've got that in kind of in your back pocket. But visually, if you like to just create things sort of off the cuff, and when the inspo comes, then do that. You know, do what works for you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when the authenticity shines.
And that's branding, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
So where can we find you then? So obviously you're on Instagram.
On Instagram, yeah. So my handle on Instagram is at Vanessa Eves with an S on the end.
So not Vanessa Jennings, it's Vanessa Eves.
The story about that was I started my Instagram account when Instagram very first, I was going to say opened, but it didn't opened.
It launched.
When it launched, when we were taking pictures of our cats and our dinner, and
then using the filters.
sepia filters. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
And my name is Vanessa Eve Jennings, and I have no idea why I put the S on the end.
How interesting.
And it's just
and
always
it's stuck.
I think I just thought it sounded better than Vanessa Eve. Or Vanessa.
We remember it.
Yeah, there we go. So that's Instagram. And then also I'm on LinkedIn, Vanessa Eve Jennings, and my website is vanessaeves.com.
Perfect. Oh, well, thank you so much for talking to me today.
It's been brilliant. Really good fun.
Really good.